Good evening and welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Golden Lap. We're here for race 2 of the new season, guys. And of course, thank you very much for watching race 1. We got a lot of comments and kind of talk about the drama of that first race. And it was a lot of drama. It was really, really good. Hopefully we get more drama as this season progresses. It would be awesome if we could. Now, before we run into race 2, of course, got to go through the press conference. I want to say a quick thank you to Lonwell for writing up a really cool article from Fast Kart Media. Talking all about how Edward King has joined the team, had a really bad start. Holgersson's out on the party, and somehow we still come away with a race win for Edward King and a 4th place for Holgersson. So it was still it was a thrilling first round, and fans are sure to be anxious about what the next race will bring, according to Fast Kart Media, with a lovely title of All Hail King Edward. It was a pretty good title. Really, really well done. Thank you for that, Lonwa. Next question. We actually have a question from Opa in the press conference. Nilsson is a qualification and rain master. That's true. But Edward King is the race start king. Really amazing. What kind of golden energy drink did you offer him in this race? Well, we are not affiliated, unfortunately, with any kind of energy drink or anything like that. But Edward King really did start well off that race. He went through a lot of overtakes. I think actually it was in... Yeah, I mean, Fast Car Media reports 13 positions on the first lap. It was absolutely bonkers. So, I don't know if Edward King does, drink the energy drinks or the various brands you can get nowadays. But if he does, and it got him that kind of start, then fine. Not too many though, because, they're not always, moderation. That's all I'm saying. Okay, next question from Adam. Thank you, Opa. Thank you, good question. From Adam, in week 2, with King being patriotic at a home country track, will he get the part upgrade? Reminder, Holgersson got the part last race. I think it would be fair. We've got the money to give upgrades probably from now to the end of the season. And new parts alongside those upgrades. So I think we'll probably give Edward King the new part and then see where he goes with it. If he has another good race and wins the next one, then we might be looking at Edward King as our out and out number 1. But I don't want to just forget Holgersson. He had a really good end of last season. And even though it's quite, things can change really, really quickly. And suddenly it's like, oh, he's in 4th, Edward King's number 1. No. We're not going to kind of jump to any decisions like that. We're going to keep focused on just trying to do well for the team. Next up from Victor. Thank you, Adam. Next up, Victor. Were you surprised that Ezzolini gave their second seat to the unproven James Fletcher? Rumours are Ezzolini supporters are upset that the team skipped out on Edward King as their second driver. Now, this is a good question, Victor. And potentially, my answer kind of links back to an answer I gave previous years, where I don't really think Edward King would want to be a second driver. It's one of those where it's like they're the fastest. They're probably used to being the number 1 driver. You don't really suddenly treat them as a number 2 driver. So could the Ezzolinis have kind of paired them together and said, go and race? Maybe. But as their second driver, I don't think so. I think in terms of second driver, yeah, James Fletcher to Anders Nilsson does make sense. A clear first driver and a clear number 2 driver, a second driver. So I can understand why they made that decision. But I do agree that, it is a bit of a surprise. And they may have let go a very, very good driver. And Edward King has already grabbed the win. So, yeah, maybe. Very good question, Victor. Next up, good question. Question from Aaron Conway, who says, congratulations for a great start to the season. Thank you. Sources within the team have reported a greater budget this season than usual. All with this, combined with a far more competitive field at the top, lead to suggestions that Knight will look into the dark arts, behind the scenes, spying, stealing, potentially sabotaging. It is a good question, but that's not really me. I don't like it. It's just, I wouldn't want to do it. So, at the moment, I've got to say no. But yeah, still, good question. Thank you, Aaron. Now, next up, what have we got? Have we got a question? No, we don't have a question from Fraser, but did give us a good insight in terms of, like, we could have pushed Holgerson on the hards a little bit, tried to build up a gap and then pit him for softs. That was a good insight as well. So thank you for that as well, Fraser. Cody O'Neill also... Oh, here we go. This is a question from Cody. Edward King was pointed out as having an electric all-or-nothing racing style. Considering night racing has historically gone for the safer driver, do you get nervous when you see King weaving between cars on the start or pushing it during the qualifying? Yeah, in general, I would say that's a safe thing to say, that I tend to go for the more solid, safer option. I don't really go for the Paul Woods, who obviously got the podium last race, but on top, I think he did. One sec, let me check that. He did, there we go. Look, he did for Wayland. He did get the podium, and now the music is back. So, like, you are going to get rewarded for it, but I'm just so much more of a, like, consistency is what wins you championships, so to speak. Like, for example, last season, we did not have consistency. So, the amount of DNFs and the amount of, like, having to swap Bregman out for different drivers meant that even though Holgerson went on a mad winning run at the end of the season, the team couldn't catch up because of the inconsistency. So... Edward King weaving at the start, I don't actually see it so much as a risk. He's got the trait which is aggressive. He receives a bonus. He doesn't have the trait saying reckless, so I'm okay with it. But you are probably right, Cody, in saying that I would tend to go for the safer options. Yes, that is true. That is indeed true. Okay, last comment. Thank you, Cody. Last comment comes in from Cobra. Pen letters of the Ridgemont Fast Times. Many fans are still wondering just what it was that they saw over the weekend at Potenza. In Italy, yes, Potenza. Concerned board members in the night racing box were wondering if they had put their faith in the wrong drivers when Holgerson arrived to qualifying hungover and King lost control of his car halfway through the day. It seems both board members and fans were in for another surprise when they witnessed the spectacular performance of King and then the endurance of Holgerson. It's really well put together, this comment. It's very true. After qualifying, you wouldn't be blamed for thinking we'd made a big error and Edward King was a liability and Holgerson wasn't going to be able to keep the form from last season. But obviously the race proved differently. Should anyone be disappointed that Knight barely missed out on a double podium finish, or should they be grateful for the result they got? Okay, to answer that, I'm happy with the result we got. We were very close to the double podium, but I'm very happy with the result we got. So, no bad feelings on that. Is Knight looking to discipline Holgerson for poor professional conduct? Will King be rewarded for rising to the occasion? Will fans of Knight Racing be able to purchase merchandise from the store? Hats, shirts, thongs? I'm going to assume by thongs, you mean flip-flops. I'm going to assume that's what... we don't sell much merchandise, no, unfortunately not. But, you know, we're doing well on the money as things are. We got a good income. We got challenge bonuses, race bonuses if we do win the races. So we're okay on the money for now. And will Holgerson be disciplined? Yes. And that will be alongside a reward for Edward King, which is getting the part for this next race. So let's get into that. Press conference done. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Cobra. Thank you, everybody who left a comment. I'm really, really happy to be able to actually respond to the comments. It was a great idea to do press conferences. It wasn't my idea. It wasn't my idea. So I don't take credit for it. You guys, making your comments, making your questions. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get into it. Okie dokes. Now, first things first. Gotta be the build. So this track looks a little bit more turny, but there are lots of straights as well. I think we'll go for a steering upgrade. I think that makes sense. It's a 3123. It's going to go to Edward King. And you know what? As part of the punishment for showing up to the previous race and quali with a hangover, I'm going to swap the parts over and give Edward King the outright best car going into this race. For multiple reasons. One, like I say, to reward King, to discipline Holgerson. Don't show up with a hangover. That's not okay in pretty much any job, really. And on top of that, this is a home race for Edward King. So giving him the best car gives us the best chance of getting the win. Now, upgrades, people, upgrades. Henny Holgerson is going to get an upgrade. He's going to go 60 plus on his engine. And then upgrades across the board for Edward King as well. So he's a 3166. Henny Holgerson, 3041. Let's go. It is time for Quali. I would love to be able to say that name. Ayana Javalainen? Maybe? Look, I'm sorry if I butchered that. Crew chief of Team Pope partied a bit too hard and is hungover. Yeah, well, look, we're not happy with that when it happens to our team. I'm sure Team Pope are not happy with that either. LeBron, the same. Too much partying. Out we go. Out we go. Edward King leads the way. Henri Lefebvre, don't forget Henri Lefebvre in the Chapman. How many drivers have we got out there that once or have driven for us? Nielsen. Oh, it's all swapped around. It's all swapping around. I can't. Lovera, yes. Bregman, yes. Nielsen, yes. It's still swapping around. Lefebvre, Holgerson, King. Have we got 5? I think we may only have 5. Yellow flag means that only Edward King was able to put in an actual proper lap. Everyone else has put in laps that are far slower. Okay, we're going to go focus on the engine for Edward King. I think that's a good bet. Okay, so 35 on the engine is very good for Edward King. Very happy with that. A lap time of 1:31 means we want to send our cars out at about 1. It's going to have to... I think it's going to have to be steering, but the steering is not good options here. So you know what? We're just going to pick the best options that appear. Same again. Risky, but let's go for it. 11, cool. Okay, so 30 total. Not bad for Henny Holgerson. We're going to wait ×2 speed now, guys, for there to be about a minute left, and then we'll send the cars out. Unfortunately, other teams were thinking the exact same way, so now we've got a bit of a train there, but at least Henny Holgerson is open and on his own, so that's okay. Yeah, King stuck behind Henri Lefebvre. I apologize, King. I didn't think they were going to set the same... Oh, my word, another yellow flag. So, King obviously put in a good time, still, with only 4 seconds off the fastest. But now people are putting in actual fast times. And we are now way, way further down. And that's another yellow flag. So that is Palmer, who's currently in 3rd. It's all over the place. It's all over the place. $63 on the engine. That's all right for Edward King. And okay, best options available. You've got 5 there. That's a best option. Let's go 2 and then here. Then here and then here. Okay, just kind of slow build for Henny Holgerson at the minute. Okay, I'm going to send him out early because I don't want to waste too much time just kind of sitting in the pits. If I can get an extra lap done... I mean, we've already wasted a little bit of time because of these yellow flag periods. I just want to get another lap done. So Edward King actually went purple on the final sector there. That is a good sign. That's a really good sign. That shows that the speed is there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, yeah, next up has to be the steering. And that'll do us nicely. That's fine. Well done, Edward King's crew chief and engineers. That's the best one available by far. These are all terrible now. Which means we've ended up focusing on the engine, which isn't the worst thing, is it? To be honest. And hopefully also by having this little gap, by sending the cars out again, hopefully we do get an extra lap in, and therefore an extra tuning, and therefore as the track gets hotter, hopefully when we're putting in that extra lap, we manage to go fastest. We'll see. We're currently 17 and 19, but I'm not worried just yet. Edward King, purple sector. That's why I'm not worried. Make that 2 purple sectors, and fastest by 0.1. Holgerson goes in a second slower than King, but goes into 3rd position with the first actual lap that either of our drivers have been able to put in proper. As I speak, Henny Holgerson in 3rd, second down, but Paul Woods is currently putting in purple sectors, so we'll have to keep an eye on him. Okay. 5. Oh, that's a good one. That's okay. That's okay. 43. Okay, good. Yeah, that's a good one. None of these are particularly great. I'm just going to focus on the engine for a little bit, and that was okay. Okay, so Paul Woods did go purple sector 1. Unfortunately, couldn't go faster than King. Well, unfortunately from their point of view. Fortunate from our point of view. Nielsen has gone purple sector 1, but then 2 white sectors. Slowing him down. This is going to give Edward King an opportunity. He's gone green sector 1, purple sector 2, purple sector 3. He increases the gap by about a second, and Holgerson does improve as well. Very good. Almost into 3rd once again. So Holgerson still doing well, performing quite well. Oh, that's a lovely bit of tuning going on for Edward King. The numbers are really working in his favour. Send him out and then we'll work on... Okay, we'll work on the steering. That's a good one. Okay, good. I think we'll have to focus on Henny Holgerson. We'll try and focus on the engine for the next tuning session, just to try and make sure we get that golden tune. Of course, Holgerson's parts are the worst parts. You know, they're not as good as Edward King. Nielsen goes fastest by 3/4 of a second. But Edward King responds and immediately takes that back. Very good from Edward King. Holgerson still down in 6th. Is it the gap? Is it just the difference in the car? Is that the only difference? Hard to know. Okay. So Edward King's maybe got 1 or 2 more tuning sessions. Maybe just the 1. So we're going to have to try and get him... get his car set. Lovely. Okay, there is the golden tune I was after. Let's try and get the chassis done next. Good last one there. Very good. We should be able to get the chassis for Holgerson as well. Slightly different tuning strategies on the different cars there because of the parts, you know, the parts that they've got. Edward King is in the zone. Let's see what he can do. Purple sector 1. That's the way to do it. That's the way to impress me. 2 purple sectors. He goes faster. He goes almost into the 120s. Holgerson goes into 3rd. There we go. Holgerson getting a little bit more clutch there. But King did not improve in that final sector. Which maybe, just maybe, that is why he improved the time, but not like by a significant amount. And unfortunately, we might... That's really rough. I don't think we're going to get the golden tune with Edward King. There we go. Well done. Okay, so we're a little bit further off the golden tune with Henny Holgersson. But he has got 2 parts tuned up perfectly, so that's not, you know, that's not too bad. He's going to go out. We're going to try and set this lap right at the end of the session, in fact. It will be. It will be right at the end of the session. Here we go. Oh, Holgersson can't focus. Edward King goes purple second sector, and he does go into the 120s. Holgersson, unfortunately, does not improve, and he's dropped down to 5th. And Nielsen's gone fastest. Oh, wow. Nielsen takes it at the end of the session, pipped to pole by Anders Nielsen, a former night racing driver, of course. Henny Holgersson ends up in 7th. Wow. Bregman in 4th. Another. Henri Lefebvre in 8th. And another driver that once drove for Knight. Okay. It's into the race we go. Looks like it's going to be a dry race. We're going to start King on the mediums. And you know what? I haven't started anyone on the hard tyres for a little while. Sorry, soft tyres. Let's give Holgersson the soft tyres. Let's see what he can do. Jürgen Schuss of Team Mezzolini feels invigorated. Well done. Fair enough. All right. We're going to watch Holgersson because I trust Edward King at the front. Hopefully. Don't come back to bite me with that. Oh, okay. Oh, Holgersson's lost the place. Oh, no, he's got it back straight away. Well done. Oh, no. Down to 10th. One bad corner. Down to 11th. Holgersson, what are you doing? Back up to 9th. That's very good. Not really ideal start from Henny Holgersson. King's having a much more solid start. You know, he hasn't overtaken Nielsen, but he's looking good where he is in 2nd place. Okay, we're going to calm the tyres down. Calm the drivers down as well. Holgersson is going to try and... Oh, Edward King's gone down to 3rd. Holgersson's going to try and kind of solidify his race from where we were. He's obviously on the soft tyre, which means an earlier pit stop for him. He'll probably go onto the hard tyre. Then what I think we will do is we will run the hard tyre as long as we can and then try and give Holgersson the soft tyre at the end of the race. That's the strategy we're going for. Let's see if it works. Edward King, I think, is most likely going to be running a full medium race, unless, of course, there are yellow flags or there is rain or there are red flags or whatever. There's a lot of variables at play that could change the strategy, but those are the ideas at the moment. It's soft, hard, soft for Henny Holgersson. It's medium, medium, medium for Edward King. And it is about time we went on to 2-time speed because we are settled into the race now. We're running 3rd and 10th. Obviously, oh, there's a yellow flag. Christoph Fischer from the back of the grid has lost it. And we are, of course, saving fuel at the moment as well. That part of the strategy has not changed. George Thompson up ahead has got a puncture, which is going to give Henny Holgersson 9th position, essentially for free. A little bit of a freebie there. Green flag, and away we go. Holgersson's back to 10th. King is still running in 3rd, but not really. We're not really pushing so much with King. You don't really need to. The race is a very long one. Holgersson's in the zone. Yeah, okay, we'll let him have a push and a burn because he's a little bit further back. And we do need to try and get those positions. And he has done. There we go. As soon as he pushes and burns, he gets those positions. Very good. Okay, we're about 5 laps under the full burn at the minute. So we can't give the full burn just yet. We can give them the push and burn. Because I want Henny Holgersson to try and catch Henri Lefebvre, his teammate from the end of last season. He can't focus. That's fine. So when Mendes goes in, it's probably a good indicator for when Henny Holgersson should be going in as well. Woods has actually taken the lead off of Anders Nielsen, but the front three are more or less running their own race at the minute. Woods has gone in, which is very interesting, and Mendes hasn't just yet, but I think it's probably time for Henny Holgersson to go in, and we're going to go onto that hard tyre. What is the fuel deficit? It is at 3.7 laps right now. Henny Holgersson comes out in 12th, but there are a lot of cars up ahead who have not stopped yet. So we are now running the long race with Henny Holgersson. He's up to 11th because that's a car stopping already. Oh, Anders Nielsen with the slow pit stop. Puts him down to 4th at the minute. Okay. What is the deficit? It's at 3.2. Not much at all. Not much at all. And King is still going pretty fairly. Let's go to lap 22 for King, I think. Holgersson's in the zone. That's good, but we're not going to push because we want to try and take these tyres as long as we can. One more lap for Edward King, and then he's going to pit off of his mediums. Here we go. So he's going medium again. That is the plan. He may even be able to go on soft if there are yellow flags at some point on that final stint. Because if he goes on softs, then, you know, he should be able to fly around the last couple of laps. All right, so the gap, everyone has pitted. The gap is not really too much. It's 7 seconds or so. There's a bit of traffic. So keeping Edward King out has cost him a little bit of time. But of course, we're not pushing. Other cars are pushing. So we will make that time back near the end of the race. So no drama just yet. We're all good. And in fact, you can see the gap is kind of equalized. Looking good. It's at 7 still. Not really changing. Just want to try and catch up. And Paul Woods has overtaken Anders Nielsen for the lead. Retaken the lead. The deficit is at 1.5. Not much at all. And Henny Holgersson, as we say, he's going to try and run these tyres as long as possible. When the fuel burn starts, he'll go... you know what? When the fuel burn starts, that's when I will be willing to tell Henny Holgersson to push again. We just hold fire for so long. I tend to play like we'll make up the time later. I don't need to push now. We'll make up the time later. Because I do believe it's a good strategy. Or Woods and Nielsen just kind of the first and second, they're just exchanging positions there. There's drama at the front. King's in the zone again. He has cut the gap. I just want that to be kind of acknowledged here. He has cut the gap, and that's without a push or a burn. So that time that he did lose potentially on the overtakes, he's already got it back. I didn't even need to push. The deficit is almost done. Wow, King really slowed up there. Did he hit Nielsen? Was there might have been contact. Because he's really, look, he's a 5-second gap. He slowed up a big time over here. Okay, can we push? Yes, we can. Not quite yet. Sorry, burn. Can we burn? Yes, we can. Can't get past Nielsen just yet. And there's been no yellow flag to change things for Holgersson. Can he push now? Not quite. Very close. There we go. Edward King has got the job done on Anders Nielsen. So he currently leads the race. The gap is non-existent, however. And Paul Woods pitted early. Which means if there are changes or whatever and we pit on the yellow flags, Paul Woods won't have to. Furthermore, he's on the mediums. I don't see those mediums getting to the end of the race, however. So, that's interesting. Okay, 20 laps to go. Still no yellow flag. So I think Holgersson is going to have to pit again. And we will throw him on some soft tyres. And hopefully he can rip it at the end of the race. Edward King is a slightly different strategy. He's going to pit on lap 44. There or thereabouts. Holgersson's in the zone. Okay, there you go. Have a push. Let's go. Make that gap to Bregman smaller. Go on, lad. Well done. He's almost caught him, in fact. His old teammate. He has caught him. There's the yellow flag. Okay. You know what? Let's pit on the yellow flag. No, he's gone by it. He's gone by it. Okay, we're still going to do it. And then, King, you're definitely going to pit. No, mediums are safer because then it allows us to push more. And look at that. Okay, so Edward King is now pitted, got fresh tyres. Nilsson hasn't pitted a second time. And we are 2 seconds behind the lead of this race. So that yellow flag came at near enough the perfect time for Edward King. Trying to get in the royal good books, I would say, from Mendes. Of course, Mendes is not going to be happy with that. But we are running 7th now with Holgersson. 16 seconds gap to Bregman. And then Lefebvre's just in front of Bregman. Can Holgersson get 5th place? That's what we're after. 5th place. There it is. Because I don't think we're going to be able to catch Fletcher. He's 20 seconds up the road. We've got not a great amount of time to try and get those positions back. King has overtaken Woods already. Those fresh tyres are dangerous. Anders Nilsson, unfortunately, I think you missed the trick by not pitting under those yellow flag conditions. I think Anders Nilsson, when he does pit again, if he does pit again, he's going to lose position. He is going to lose position. Okay, Holgersson, you're on the tyres now. You've used every type of tyre there is available. Under those yellow flag conditions, you've now got an opportunity to race for 5th on the standings. The gap is 6.3, 5.9, 5.7, and Holgersson has just put in the fastest lap of the race. He has taken this opportunity as things stand. Here we go. Okay, where do we stand? Well, Edward King is out in front by 3.5 seconds. Holgersson unfortunately can't focus, but the gap... Oh, and King takes the fastest lap. That's that's outrageous. Okay, we're going to tell King to push this lap. Only this lap. When he finishes the lap, we will tell him to calm down again. Which he does, and he does set the fastest lap again. Holgersson, you can now push. The gap is 3.5. Let's get that down. 2.5. He's done that really fast. 1.9, 1.8, 1.5. My word. He's cutting that gap. Is he going to get Bregman? He is. He gets Bregman over the start-finish line. No less. 2 seconds now to get Henri Lefebvre. Holgersson is just racing his teammates. His former teammates. And there is Anders Nilsson making his stop. Now he has enough of a gap. I mean, we've got an outrageous gap now. We've got an outrageous gap. I wish I could slow the race down even further. I don't want to pause it. But Edward King has now got a 26-second gap. Our strategy calls in this race to just run medium all the way to the end and then put Holgersson on the medium as well. Might just get us 1st and 5th and maybe 4th. Maybe 4th if Holgersson can really put his foot to the floor at the end of this race. Maybe 4th. He would have to gain positions very quickly. He really would. He's currently running in 6th. He's not pushing, but he is burning. So he should be able to get Henri Lefebvre at some point in the next couple of laps. And then it's just a question of, do we have enough time? Do we have the laps left to try and get Fletcher as well and make it another 1st and 4th? Holgersson, come on. You got to do it. You can get it. Here we go. He's half a second behind Henri Lefebvre. This is the time. He can't get past him again. This is the time to get the job done. Get the overtake done. King can't focus, but King is not actually who I'm worried about. King has got the race win, unless there is some absurd crash in the last couple of laps. Nilsson has stolen the fastest lap. Okay, let's try and steal it back. Henri Lefebvre is done. Both drivers are pushing. Let's try and get it back. Holgersson, I want you to push because I want you to try and catch Fletcher. And Edward King, I want him to push because I want him to try and get the fastest lap. It's 1:12.81. Let's see if we can get it off of Nilsson. He does indeed. 1:11.76. Well done, Edward King. Anders Nilsson, I'm sorry, I did not want to give you the fastest lap. Okay. Henny Holgersson is half a second behind Fletcher. This is his last lap. He's got to push. Let's go. Let's see if he can get it done. Henny Holgersson, can you return the favour that Paul Woods took 4th place or took 3rd place from us last race? Can you take 4th on the last lap? He is right on Fletcher's gearbox. The tyres are gone on Fletcher. Can he get the move done? Over the line we go. And no, he cannot. Oh. Very close, however. Very close indeed. And Nilsson stole the fastest lap at the end. Oh, that's sneaky. That's sneaky from Anders Nilsson. But fair play. He went fastest. At that point, I didn't want to risk Edward King and his stress levels on that last lap. So I'll take the win. Anders Nilsson takes the golden lap, the fastest point, however you want to describe it. Fletcher did a 1-stop as well. Wowzer. Wowzer. But another win for Edward King. British drivers 1 and 2. Swedish driver in 3rd. So basically all that happened was Anders Nilsson and Paul Woods, they just swapped positions on the podium from last race. Edward King with the number 1 position secured. We take 35 points and extend our lead at the top of the standings to 20. Very good. Very good indeed. Okay, there we go, guys. What a race that one was. Edward King doing really well. He's on 50 points at the start of this season. Anders Nilsson and Paul Woods are tied on 2nd place. Henny Holgersson currently sitting at 22 points, but Holgersson will be given the parts next race. He showed up, he did a good race, he actually performed pretty well to get 5th on that race from where he was early stages. You know, he had a really bad start. His car is not as fast as Edward King. Let's see. Also, let me ask if you think I should actually swap the parts as well and give Holgersson the best parts as well as the upgrade. Tell me what you think. Can Holgersson get the win if we give him the best parts? Because if he doesn't have them, I don't see him beating King. Tell me what you think. I'll make a decision going into the next race, but of course, with consideration from the board of directors. So, thank you for watching, guys. I do hope you've enjoyed. Until next time.